In this lesson, we're going to format a standard memorandum for keyboarding and document processing. Now, a memorandum is a written message used by individuals within an organization to communicate with one another. They're often referred to as stripped down letters. Now, we're going to start off with our blank Word document. First thing we're going to check is our spacing. We can check that here in our paragraph group by clicking on the paragraph dialog box launcher, going to the spacing section, make sure we have a before and after 0 pt for both, and then our line spacing here should be single. Once we fill that in, we can click OK. Another place we can check is our line and paragraph spacing button. If we click on our drop down arrow, we should see that 1.0 here has the check next to it. Now, in a standard memo, the top margin should appear to be 2 inches. This is to make sure that the letterhead of the company information or company logo is not typed on at the top here of our Word document. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put 6 enters at the top of our document before we put in our standard memo header. So we press our Enter key 6 times. Now we can tell that we've hit 2 inches because if we go over here to our ruler on the left, we can see that our blinking line starts below the 1. So we've hit Enter 6 times to go down 1 inch. And then also our top margin here is already set at 1 inch. So now we can make sure that it's not going to type on our letterhead. Now, the first line that we're going to put in a standard memo is the to line. In this case, we are sending this memo to the center interns. Now, after we type in the to label, which is in all uppercase letters, we hit our tab key twice. So we make sure that we have some space between the to label and the beginning of the person or people who it's to. Then we hit our Enter key 2 times. This is going to put a double space in between our to and our from line. Now after we type in our from label, which is on all uppercase letters, we hit our tab key once, and then we type in the person who it's from. In this case, this is from Joshua Winters, who is the center team leader. That's their title, their job title. The next line, after we put in a double space and enter twice, is the date. After you type in the date label, you hit your tab key, and then you type in the month, day, and the year. After our date line, we type in our subject line. First, we put in a double space and enter twice, and then we can put in our subject label with the subject. When we type in the subject, after we hit our tab key, we type in the subject in all uppercase or capital letters. Now, we've put in our tab key so that all our lines here are going to start on the same place in our Word document. If I take away the non-printing characters, you'll see that the C in center, the J in Joshua, the J in January, and the S in standard all appear to be lined up. After our subject, then we can type in the body of our memo. After we type in the subject, we hit Enter twice, and then we can type in our paragraphs. Now you'll notice that our paragraphs are single spaced. There's no blank line in between the blank lines. However, in between our paragraphs are double spaced. So we're going to hit Enter twice, and then type in our second paragraph. After we type in our second paragraph, we hit Enter twice, and we type in our third. After we type in our third paragraph, we hit Enter twice, then we type in our last paragraph. Now, double spaced underneath our last paragraph is the writer's initials. So we hit enter twice, and then we type in the writer's initials. In this case, the person typing the memo is not the same as the person who it's from. The double X's here indicate the person's name. In this case, it is Xander Xavier. Once we put in the writer's initials, if any document is accompanying the standard memo, we have to put an attachment notation or an enclosure notation at the bottom, double spaced underneath the writer's initials. So we're going to hit enter twice, and then we're going to put in the attachment notation. This is to make sure that whoever's sending the memorandum will be able to attach whatever document is necessary to go with it. Now, with all our spacing from the top margin to the double spaces in between all the parts of our standard memo, we have now created a perfect standard memo.